K showdown. 농심 레드포스 대 BNK KRX.
No. But Digon and them, they were definitely cooking with the Ox. That's kind of the obvious one for sure.
I do love that obviously a big focal point of last game was Lock so OP, and we didn't Huni were like, guys. It wasn't Lock. It was also the draft as a whole. It was also the early game plan, the mid game plan, the
micro, the macro.
There's a lot of things that went wrong there.
Okay, apparently Digon is an Afghan hound.
You know what? Looking, so a picture we put on the prompter.
Yeah, I actually see it.
I see it. And I would like an edit to come through of that dog with different colors of hair.
That dog is very fashionable.
The many shades of
He looks like he has led a long and very interesting life. It looks like a dog that would have a lot of great stories, you know. So I don't think it's, you know, a negative thing for Digon at all. Honestly, I think he should rock that look, grow it out a little bit longer.
He already?
Well, he does. But
can we stop saying lock? Just by the way, Fearless Band. We said it so many times last game.
I said rock.
Oh, you said rock? I don't know why my brain just defaults to lock.
I didn't say lock that.
Okay. Let's lock.
Well, I did say rock that look, so I can see kind of.
Oh, okay, that's where the confusion was. Okay, let's lock away. Let's not say it again.
Forever.
We have had some bans come through. Lucian is a different one here. And also Poppy got left open. So before we had a lot of these picks were already banned, but notably Poppy was banned instead of Lucian now. We do get this Syndra come out pretty quickly, and Cassiopeia Nautilus going to come through. Cassiopeia, obviously a flex. Syndra, obviously a flex. Honestly, at this point, what is the flex?
Nautilus could be played in the jungle.
We played mid lane. Shout out to Doinby.
Mid lane, yeah. Yeah, so far, Lee Sin top could happen.
I mean, I like Lee Sin when you have set up for it. You already have the Syndra, which has that stun to enable you to land that Sonic Wave, so I think it's a good start.
It's really good when the Syndra is mid.
That being said, one issue, you pick Lee Sin into Cassiopeia, that might be a little bit frustrating. There also could be a Poppy coming through. But NongShim do not seem dismayed. They're going to go for Leona. Leona often being a good pairing with mages. Ziggs Leona was very popular. Now it's Leona, presumably with Syndra, but we'll see. And Skarner comes through. We saw a lot of Skarner specifically into Lee Sin as an answer. Can control him very well, very bulky. You Sonic Wave Skarner, you do not want to go in on that. But they did nerf Protoplasm Harness on this patch because that item was super broken. You'd rush it. So much effective HP on the back of that. It's now 100 gold more expensive, and the health, because you get bonus health and the healing, both of them have been reduced early. They are just as good when you get to level 18, but early on, significantly less. So basically, as a first item rush, it has lost a lot of value, and I wonder if that's going to change the build here. I think the Olaf ban is very heads up from KRX. Olaf would just decimate this team. And once again, they're going to take away the Vayne in this situation.
Yeah. Olaf actually a pick we see relatively often nowadays, especially in best of fives, which we haven't seen a lot of nowadays. Team tries to draft CC late in a best of five. Just pick Olaf. Or in this case, in game 2, you can do the same thing. The Vayne is also gone once again, and so is the Varus. Fearless Band.
Yeah, I think CC immunity into Skarner, Nautilus, Cassiopeia, really high value, pretty solid. So now up to KRX. Given that they have kind of picked this situation, I think you can just give away the flex. I say, but they opt not to. They go for the Ambessa. Confident that Frog can deliver on this. That'd been a lot of things taken away that could be problematic. Renekton has often been good in Ambessa, and obviously the range tops that we often see in Varus and Vayne, and I guess Gnar taken away. They're holding on to the flex, but it does mean that they're not going to go for counter pick for Frog, and that did hurt them last game around. Even though he did pretty well in the top lane, it was with a lot of jungle effort.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't, at some point, couldn't match up well into Kingen.
So we had Jhin picked, by the way, so it is Syndra, Lee Sin, mid-jungle. unless Jin is top, which
Oh, no.
it's not going to be.
No, that's not going to happen.
Not today. Maybe in your solo queue.
Jin into Ambessa sounds like a nightmare situation for the Jin.
Yeah. Zahen. So nothing incredibly weird.
A pretty high value here
Kingen.
into a very short-range composition already. Very melee-focused. And the consideration here for LazyField is the Sivir. I feel like they have a good amount of DPS with the Cassiopeia, but shredding through, there's the Hen, the Leona, definitely the Sivir is going to be able to help out with that. The Spell Shield has pretty high value, but it's still a very short-range composition for KRX DRX. Picks like the Syndra and the Zahen are going to be a problem for them, but I think more playable than the last draft is definitely something I would say for the side of KRX DRX. There's a lot of controls, so when the likes of the Lee Sin go in, I think Sponge is going to have a rough time in this one. No easy targets. Even the Sivir has a Spell Shield to make it difficult. And as much as the Hen can thrive against low-range targets, if you get trapped in a miasma, you could just get shredded by this composition. Even Leona, who typically just feels very hard to punch through, I don't think this is going to be an easy game, especially as the meta has developed to the point where supports are like level 5 at 15 minutes sort of vibe.
Yeah.
Don't have the stats, don't have the durability that they typically do, and can just really be punished.
Yeah, they absolutely can, and definitely a lot of long-term consistent damage here on the side of KRX DRX with the Sivir and the Cassiopeia. If we do go late, could definitely chunk through some of these frontliners on the side of NongShim. So we'll see what happens in this game as we hop onto the Rift for game number 2. Game number 2 of match 91, as we are here back at the LCK. In the past, used to end a split at match 90 and then move on to the next split, but that's not the way it works anymore.
We're not splitting them anymore.
We're not.
It's just
It's all just one
big
big
season. And something we didn't touch on too much is these teams are neck and neck in the Rise group. And there isn't that many games in the Rise group. You play everyone in your group twice. So in total, that's 8 games. And as a result, you don't have a ton of space to navigate your position in the standings. Every game has a huge amount of impact. We could very well see at the end of the season, teams are like, wow, we lost that one game, that one series at the start against NongShim, and that has cost us everything. So a lot of pressure on these teams to sort things out. They have had time to go away. And oh, there is a display. 2 pictures of Degon.
Wow. You know, I do feel like Degon's snout isn't quite the same length, but I do think, no, that's your chin. But I do admire the effort. He's trying his best. But again, the hair is very similar. I do think that the hair is good.
They're not currently color matched, but we often see Degon change color. So, maybe tomorrow he'll come in with more of a bluish look. And he'll look like exactly like that picture. Now they go for a dive again.
Bot again, as it is going to be going all in on the LazyField. The Spell Shield is good, but Lahen's very happy to once again trade his life for that as the kill goes over to Diablo, and a giant wave is missed here by LazyField.
And I just love this approach. They go for the early dive to punish the enemy AD carry, the scaling AD carry. That's
little
the
tick.
Syndra.
The Deathfire touch. Very close.
5 HP. 5 HP I saw.
Extremely close.
Man. Scout nearly just getting taken down in the solo kill. Yukal not happy about last game.
Yeah. He's just going to stay mid. Does not care. He is safe. There's no threat on him at the moment, but and they're both going to TP back here, so, and they both flash. So at the end of the day, very unfortunate that Yukal is not able to, equal trade in sums and then actually get the kill.
Oh, Andal is just
supports in current year?
Killing Sponge.
Yeah.
Sponge did this, didn't have as much of an active early game last game, but has taken the time here. Now is being challenged again. Andal is just running at it.
He's like, no, I get the kill. I kill him. Yeah, trust me, bro. Probably gonna kill the hens, actually, or at least give the kill over to LazyField. So the aggressive play from Ondil is good.
He wouldn't say "trust me, bro" because he's on KRX. He'd say "trust me, KRX."
Maybe bro's watching, and bro's like, nah, he doesn't got this.
Maybe Degon's watching.
Yeah. Or what did the main shareholder.
I think a big thing here, so they killed LazyField and denied him a ton of minions in the bot lane, which was obviously, I think, a great play.
9 CS.
Yeah, he's really far behind already. But Andal soaked up a lot of XP, and he was level 3 there, forcing into the enemy jungle. Lehens was only level 2, Sponge was only level 3, so able to answer back, and importantly, get a kill for LazyField, so that gold lead isn't as dire. Bear in mind, he has a kill and an assist. He's 500 gold down, despite having a kill and an assist. So not super ideal.
Yeah.
And we've often seen KRX live or die by LazyField being able to be strong in a game. Him being strong in this game would feel phenomenal. Gonna have to scale up a little bit in this one.
Yeah, it's another situation like Game 1 where it's like, okay, well, they have a draft that's slow and can scale. I feel like they have, obviously, more options in this game to make things happen, especially with Nautilus and Skarner. But you've still got, in terms of your carries, champs that are needing to wait for some items. You know, Ambessa is a champ that can spike on 1 with the Eclipse, but at the same time, it's a top laner. You know, is Frog really going to come down and affect the map in the same way?
Did you want to know something neato, Brendan? You know how I always talk about Ambessa getting the free stats at level 6? Just by skilling her ultimate? Just hit level 6 now. Do you know who also gets free stats? Zahen.
Zahen, yeah.
Gets Armor Pen for leveling his ult. So now they both just have a bunch of Armor Pen. Although, Ambessa also gets the healing. So that's a definite advantage in this situation.
Yeah, but Kingan's a world champion, so, you know. Good luck, Frog. Diablo's taking about a bazillion damage. Flash comes in. Assassin Ondil is real. As Diablo's like, no, I get the root here, and I also die. LazyField going to pick up that one. Looking for another kill on a Lehens. Was it a bait all along? LazyField still going to pick up 2, but at least Sponge does clean up. But a nice little catch up here for KRX.
LazyField is basically even in gold after that. So huge influx there from the bot lane of KRX, able to get those 2 kills, able to get their Sivir firmly back in the game. And I think NongShim just not respecting them at all there. Sponge is trying to force him away from the dragon, which he will do.
Grim Deliverance in on a Frog. Flash forward as there is the public execution just trying to get away. And he will, but Frog down on HP now.
Yeah, getting pressured a good amount here. Kingan stacking up the passive, and a good dodge from Yukal there. Scout very low on mana as well. Not been having the greatest time in this lane so far.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the extended trades, the Cassiopeia always going to feel pretty good, especially if the Syndra does miss anything.
I think one of the things, we'll see this replay again, one of the things with the state of the game right now, so Lehens uses the Zenith Blade to hit the wave. A great grab by Andal, immediately puts Diablo on low HP, and he's reloading. So
he's walking forward into them while he's reloading.
Doesn't have the damage to finish them off. The sustained damage way more available to a lethal tempo Sivir. And it was just a great setup from Andal here, and disrespect from NongShim more than anything. Burning the Zenith Blade on the minion wave. To be honest, I don't think it would have necessarily massively helped if that was up, but it could have at least slowed LazyField down. The issue there was Diablo walking up and getting hooked in front of the minions.
Yeah.
So, solid misplay, I would say, but also great capitalization from Andal. And the thing with the Sivir, you may be down in farm, but you're now even in gold. And as a Sivir, you will just eat up waves as the game goes on. You'll farm so incredibly well later in the game that LazyField, not only because of how the champion scales, but just because of how much gold he's going to get, is going to outscale Diablo pretty hard. And I think the fact that KRX are ahead, even if they were even, they would be feeling good. But the fact they're ahead, even though it's only a little bit, they're in a pretty great spot right now. Now, Willa looking for a play. We'll find the Lee Sin here.
This is just a Skarner with no E, and now they're going to flash on into him. Big Impale on a 2, but the damage is still coming out as there's the Petrifying Gaze on a Lehens, and will stop the play for now, and the continuation from Yukal nearly takes out Sponge.
I mean, Willa is just so tanky and the fact he got that double grab there, but he's just so hard to cut through. You know, they burn the kick initially to get him back in position, but it was a good flash from him, but they just did not have the damage there. I mean, look at the items in Scout. CDR boots, a tome, and a sapphire crystal. Nothing really significant in terms of cutting through all this bulk.
Yeah, it's they're going to need a lot more than that. There's definitely something to be said about the two carries of Syndra and Jhin. That
they're very burst-based.
They definitely are.
I think into this Skarner, it's not going to be an easy time.
They don't have a lot of shred. Not for a while for the Jhin. You know, if we go very late game, sure. Jhin
I think if we go late game, it's not going to be a good time.
Yeah.
And I think a big aspect for NongShim was leveraging the Lee Sin Syndra 2v2, but into a Skarner, it's so hard to do that. And Scout has not had the best time in the 1v1, so things already starting to tip away from NongShim, I would say, but they are able to pick up the Dragon there, which is at least something they can look towards in the future. Yeah. But I don't think KRX are too concerned. They just need to play the game at their pace.
Yeah, I mean, that's always been KRX's MO, where, you know, their laning phase has always been an issue. And if they can get to team fights, they generally have a good time, but they don't always get there. Like game number 1, right? Some awkward trades early on, a weak draft for early game where they opted into some fights, and the game fell away very quickly. But this one can certainly look a lot differently. A Scout just going to flash away. And now we have Mbessa from top lane. And Scout's like, well, I guess I'm just dead. And that he is. Yukal going to pick up that kill.
Mbessa from the top rope. And we see Scout go down. Flash bin as well. Feels really bad. KRX basically able to act with impunity and just step forward. No real response in return. Yuntal now picked up for Lazy Fuel.
Yeah, I mean,
you sometimes see the Essence Reaver come out. Yuntal and item you do have to stack up to really get the value from. But again, just kind of leaning into that scaling aspect. Replay here. You kind of had to flash in this situation as Scout because you were worried about the ult following or any slows in the Cassiopeia. But unfortunately, he just ends up pathing towards the Mbessa. If he was able to flash a moment later and get over the Raptor wall, I think that was the out. That was the way you get away from the play. But in the end, Burns of Summoner dies anyway. And Frog, now with the Eclipse completed, is a very major threat.
Yeah, again, I want to see where he's going to be able to use that threat as Scout in a bit of trouble, and he's just going to walk it off. Not in trouble at all, but now we got Ondil. Both supports coming in as they're just trying to burst down the Skarner again, but having such a hard time of it. A shield comes down and Willer survives. And KRX are walking their way to the bank with 1,000 gold in the lead.
So KRX aren't massively ahead in terms of gold. And a lot of things went wrong there. You know, all the CC missing from Willer, the dredge line from Andal missing, and despite that, they still end up winning the fight. It's starting to already feel a bit worrying for NongShim, the fact that things are going wrong for KRX in the 5v5. Well, that wasn't 5v5, it's 4v4. But in the fights, and yet they're still coming out ahead.
Yeah, it just feels like a little bit of focus the wrong target syndrome. We see this often with Leona's, right? Where Willer's like putting his face in it, right? He's very far ahead of everybody else. And so he draws all this attention. They try to burst him and he lives.
Yeah, just so bulky. That was a Syndra ult as well. The rest of the team doing a good job to get him in the way and block. But this frontline Skarner is just, I mean, you have Jhin Syndra. It's not the ideal circumstances to cut through it. Something I talked about earlier was Protoplasm Harness being nerfed weaker early. Willer has gone for the Heartsteel instead. Oh, close one.
I thought that was going to lollipop and hit him there for sure.
Yeah, so Willer doesn't have as much early game durability as if he had the old Protoplasm, but the Heartsteel is just a lot of HP regardless, and there's just not the damage there to cut through it.
Yeah, does some damage, you know, can scale it up if they're fighting a lot. We are definitely pro Heartsteel on this desk, as Willer's getting in there once again. And again, really no recourse for the team, as that will be the end of Scout.
There's a Heartsteel
eventually,
and another?
Ondil picks up the kill, and now Hens has to flash away. Looking a little bit like game one in the opposite direction.
One of the issues I have with Heartsteel and Pro is that you just never get to proc it nearly as much as in solo queue. You never really get to stack it up, especially in the jungle.
Or ARAM.
I mean, in ARAM. ARAM Mayhem,
Yeah.
the hostile stacks you get up to. But the thing is, Willa gets in there, gets 2 procs. Here's the nice, satisfying noise come through, and yeah, they're just further and further ahead. NongShim, who looked so dominant in game 1, now really at the mercy of KRX. I think it's on them, really, to make a misstep here, because if they just stay grouped up, I don't think there's much of an answer. This was the reattempt, obviously, earlier. It didn't manage to connect with the ult onto Scout. Here, finds a good angle round. Just charges in. Lands are slow, lands the ult, the stun very late from Scout. And then there's the first noise. Oh,
It's Lehenz's turn.
And another?
Yeah. I heard that sound, for sure. So he picked up the sack. They gave the kill to Lazyfield, too.
And now we look. Willa has 67 stacks on his Hearth Steel already.
Solid amounts.
Yeah, really great amount of stacks to have.
Not really anything specific about that number
It just
per
feels
se, but
good to have.
it's a good amount.
Better than 66.
It is, yeah. I'm a fan. Oh, nice staunch here by Kingen, but he does have 4 people collapsing onto him, and that's not gonna feel good. Yukal's like, well, I'll just flash away, and he will be totally safe. There is the res, and eventually Kingen will die. Really, just the question is who picks up the kill. Stun comes in. They want to give it to Frog. Willer says no. Thank you very much. I'll take that.
Now he's at 90 stacks. Wow.
Also a pretty solid number.
What a value buy. Just getting stacked up so quickly already. And NongShim, I think they really need to find isolated targets. Because I think the more grouped up, the more this front line is in the way, they're going to struggle. So far, we've seen Sponge kick the Skarner a couple of times. Twice. That hasn't worked.
Yeah.
I think we've kind of established, don't try and pick the Skarner.
Stop attacking the really fed guy on the enemy team. Sorry, the really tanky guy on the enemy team.
Yeah. It's
He's
like
also fed.
They get him low, and it's like, oh, if we could have just killed him.
Yeah.
Or you could just kill someone a bit easier to take down. Now, they are looking, would you believe, not for the Skarner, for the Ambessa, but they have run into the Scorpion.
Yeah, Land's dead. So he picks up the kill. Public execution here is going to be the end of him. They give the kill over
he gets
to
the Hearth Steel to finish
Willer.
him off 115.
Triple digits.
That was one of the moments where he was like, do I want to take the kill? But that doesn't, it's like, I need the Hearth Steel.
Yeah.
And that happened to kill him, but you have to cash in on the stacks. Now, Lazyfield, ooh,
He was already unkillable, and then, like, Citrus just not doing enough. Not to the Skarner. The Jin's going to take about 8,000 years to get online to deal damage to Skarner. And Kingen's like, you know what? I'm going to take this into my own hands. Lazyfield does not have his flash, so a bit of a shield comes through. No follow-up is there, but actually a stun on him, too. They get Ondil. Diablo now is super low.
Look, you were probably focused on the bottom side of the fight. Will it drag Diablo under the tier 2 tower?
Okay.
They found him.
Surely,
They did.
I believe they got him this time.
He just-
They got
him!
They did! And Diablo got the kill. He got the shutdown. They get mid-turret. NongShim are right back on the board.
Brendan, I have a concern. What if now they killed him? The takeaway is, guys, I told you we just had to focus the Skarner.
Yeah.
We just need a little bit more.
If he's that out of position, sure.
Yeah, so look what Willa ended up doing here, by the way. Because Diablo comes around the tower, and then he grabs him, and he pulls him under the turret, and Diablo just has to run away.
He almost
Nearly
died.
dies, yeah. And then Willa, a little bit feeling himself, gets ahead. If you're this isolated, yes, you should die.
Farming Heartsteel stack, surely.
Value. But I think when you go into a 5v5, don't expect that to work so easily, is the lesson here.
Yeah.
Also, Diablo has gone Ghostblade Stormrazor. If he goes Rapid Fire third, he is never killing this Skarner.
Mosquito Jin.
He was never going to kill a Skarner anyway, but you really need LDR-IE ASAP to get this build online, to have any chance of killing. Not just the Skarner, by the way. I know we focused on the Skarner. There's an Ambessa too.
Looking for Lazyfield. Looks like no spell shield, and he's just dead.
At some point late?
Maybe against the Syndra, maybe against Scout. KRX, you know, they were in a good spot. Not necessarily anymore.
Yeah, now down in gold, which is crazy to say after how this game started. Now, I do still think in the later stages, KRX composition feels very good, but they've thrown away a massive lead. And NongShim just been finding these picks.
Diablo's like,
dead.
well, yeah. Just put the Heartsteel stack in the bag. Willer! Come on!
Now you start to feel guilty for taking all those kills?
Chivalrous. Yeah, and now they're just going to collapse in the bot lane.
Okay, get this one, get this one.
That'll be the end of Lehens.
You killed him too quick.
Yeah, no, he didn't get it. And Sponge, too. So the dive onto Frog does not work. And Tukal picks up his third kill of the contest.
What was the context of the Herald there? I saw Willer ride it at the end. I'm very confused. Okay, well, some kills answered back. Lehens now 0, 6, and 4. Not ideal. Okay, so this is when they're making the play onto Frog in the bot lane as Diablo is dying, so we didn't get to see this. A nice buffer from Frog, honestly, on the ult. And then, because of that failure, it buys him a lot of time. Oh, he heralded over the wall, okay. But then he just went over the wall anyway.
Like, oh yeah, I'm Skarner.
And then he kills Lehens.
I forgot.
4 Heartsteel stacks up. And then he grabs the Herald, and he just drives it into that wall. You've been playing Skarner all game. That is the closest champion in terms of driving, I think, other than maybe Sion, to the vibe of Herald. Like, if you're playing Skarner well, you should be able to drive
through the wall. They're trying to focus Willer again, and the Impale comes down, and they say, you know what? Actually, we can just go for Lazy Feel, who's out of position here on the left side. Down he goes. And now the rest of KRX is just on the run, but the chase is on for the side of NongShim. Ondil alone in the pit, and this is some clear Fries group gaming right now.
Yeah, NongShim really taking control of this game, and Lazy Field is out of position. We're seeing the short-ranged aspect of KRX's composition. The fact that Sivir is very low in auto-attack range, being a bit of an issue here. Lazy Field ult just gets caught by Lehens. And if the CC hits you, you are going to go down. Lehens may have been 0-6, but you still can land that CC combo. And without the DPS of the Sivir, without your AD carry, they just have to turn tail and run. So another dragon given over to NongShim there.
Yeah, it just feels like, you know, KRX, they were in a very commanding position, and there have been some mistakes that were made.
What we're really struggling with is Willer hasn't gotten any more Heartsteel stacks in a while. And the thing is, the more you get, the more you will, like, the more health you have, the more you'll stack in the future. He's just been slacking. There's no other way to spin it. So that could have been your silver lining.
There were a couple of times where he could have min-maxed it, and he didn't.
Yeah.
So, all right, they're trying to go on Ondil here. We'll see how that works, as not really connecting there. Ondil turning back into this one as we're just throwing stuff at each other. Ondil says, okay, I'll go down. Big Grim Deliverance, and Lazy Feel is frontlining, just dies, runs into the enemy team, and accepts his fate as Frog gonna take a little scattered the week, as now Frog is in a bit of trouble. Takes some damage from the Baron, and King is just keeping the rest of the team interested. Gonna zone them away as well, as now they win the fight. Maybe look at the Baron.
NongShim start the fight, and again, Lazy Field caught out of position. The Sivir just not able to function well. And yeah, they can't kill the Skarner. They can kill everyone else. TP from Scout to defend the mid tower. Baron are going to be secured here. And it just feels like the KRX, things going from bad to worse in this game. I will say silver lining. We're looking at a lot of Heartsteel stacks here. So they try and go on Andal, but it's a good dredge line to get him out of the initial situation. The ult from the Leona misses. Then they go back in, and it's just a smite on the spell shield into a kick from Sponge. Super good play, very decisive, catches Lazy Field out, and suddenly you're lacking that damage, that DPS in this fight. Yukal trying to shred through a Zehen with ult, which just doesn't do anything. And Lehens ends up finishing off Frog with the Eclipse.
Yeah. I mean,
not ideal.
If we're fighting in this position, you know, at 2 items, maybe 2.5 for the Sivir and the Cassiopeia, it feels like you're really trying to reach for a little
Diablo
bit.
did not go the rapid fire cannon.
Oh.
He's trying to go as fast as possible. This is speed, Jin.
It's
not about damage.
It's a Cloud Rift.
It's about going.
It's on theme.
It's about going
right.
fast. Dabble has subscribed to the Lightning McQueen School of Speed.
He's like, it's Fry's group. Let's sprint it a little bit. I feel like
he has
got the right mindset.
He has Ghost, he has Fleet Footway.
Yeah.
He is min-maxing. I will say, plated steel caps. Not too happy about that. Definitely should have used swiftness.
Maybe he bought it before he thought of this idea. Well, here comes Willer. And they're going to throw a bunch of stuff into him, so Willer did his job.
I think he is very fast, I will say that.
I assume that's what he was going for.
I'm going to say it, he's having more fun than Lazyfield right now. So...
yeah. Lazyfield's trying to play Sivir like it's Neela or something, so he's trying to have fun, but Neela is not very meta. Perhaps you should try Lock in the bottom lane.
That'd be good. Or maybe a mage you can just stand far away and throw spells from a distance.
Yeah. That could work.
It's NongShim with the control with the Baron and KRX trying to defend. Sponge looking for a play.
Just getting in there. They're going to actually get Willer down, but now Sponge just have to flash away. That is now a Scorpion off of the Rift, and another missed hook here for Andil. But running out of the Baron power play, they're just going to go ahead and back off. Most of them, the majority of them, down in the bottom lane at least. And Kingen also going to walk away and look for a back.
It's crazy how quickly this game has turned on its head. And you know what really hurts the most, Brendan?
What's that, Daniel?
Look how many stacks Willer has in the Heartsteel. 200. When is the last time you saw a pro game with a jungler building Heartsteel and having that many stacks? And you know what?
Yeah, not in this league.
It just doesn't matter. Executed by the Syndra ult. Unfortunate. Frog actually had a decent angle to continue the fight there if his ult connected, but a good flash gets them away. Oh, now Diablo's building Infinity Edge.
Yeah.
Honestly, he could have just gone Rapid Fire 4. I would have respected it, because then at least we know he's going for a meme build.
I suppose he doesn't want to make it too obvious, although the PD is not... that's already kind of obvious. They're going to get their third Drake, the Cloud Drake. It's not going to be a Soul, but it's Soul Point.
Yeah, Diablo's definitely saying, guys, do not end before we get Cloud Soul. I need to show you something sick. He's going to ult and then just immediately cancel it for the movement speed.
Just play Rammus, bro. Like, you don't have to play this champ.
Guys, it's the meta at the moment. You can play anything bot lane. You could have just picked Rammus. That could have been a thing.
Lehens would play Rammus. Absolutely. Like,
Beryl played Rammus.
Yeah. You know, it wouldn't be the first time. It wouldn't be like LCK first.
I can't believe Beryl's gone when we hit this meta. Think of all the crazy stuff he would have brought out in tandem with these wacky picks we've seen in the bot lane.
Yeah.
He was already bringing crazy stuff out before this was the bot meta.
Yeah, I don't know who our like most creative, craziest AD carry player is.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say support, and I'm like,
well, no, I mean it's carry now,
yeah,
right? So
I was like, yeah,
used to be Beryl.
In terms of AD carry, sadly, someone who was very creative in the past when we had the awesome dudes meta was Viper, but he's not here anymore. So let's not talk about him before we get sad. No, Engage coming in with a TP.
Yeah, a little bit of a flank TP angle, and they don't seem to have any idea about it. They're just going to go in on a UCal. A Sponge looks for the angle. The kite back here from Kium is not bad. They're not really going to be able to catch anyone, NongShim here.
Honestly,
Andil lands it, but that's an Eclipse Leona. Not going to do the damage. Throws the Unleashed Power straight into the Nautilus. They have the gold to do the damage, and Diablo picks up that kill on a Frog, too. That's 2 for 0, and NongShim still in the lead.
So NongShim was so fine with that play because they got flashes from Cassiopeia and Sivir, and they were like, we can just back off and this is flawless for us. We got both of the carries flashes and no one died. And then KRX said, well, no, we're going to continue this fight. The Nautilus used the dredge line on the Leona, and we just saw the difference in tankiness between them. I also want to mention that Lehens has Protoplasm Harness, so he is very tanky. Even though they nerfed that item early, it's level 12. So the initial engage comes in, Yukal has to flash it, Lazy Field Respect flashes the Lee Sin thread. And if NongShim back away here, they're like, this is great, we're fine with this. And because of that mindset, KRX like, no, we have to continue this play. We've just lost our carry's flashes. We can't let this be the end. And NongShim go, okay, well, we will just kill you. That's fine with us.
Yeah. If you insist, I guess we'll pick up 2 more kills. Thank you. I don't believe the Baron was spawned at that time when they got the
It was like a minute away.
Yeah.
So.
It's up now, though.
Now up and available.
Trying to make a play for it here.
Infinity Edge completed for Diablo. Still no armor pen.
Hasn't bothered them outside of the early game, of course.
You should just borrow
This
some
one.
from Zahen's passive.
Yeah. Why doesn't Jin get some, passive stats? We got a...
I mean, he kind of does his
Mega
passive.
flank.
Attack speed, turns into AD.
Well, yeah. But that's his passive, not his ult. Gonna get on in here.
Oh, no.
As, there's a very nice...
Oh, the ult?
Actually, a big stun on the multiple as now Frog is in there. They take out the Jin, and now King is kind of in no man's land. We are going full Fry's group as though they are gonna get the kill on about the carries of KRX now, and perhaps it just doesn't matter. The staying power of the Zahen is a little bit too much, even though it does get a bit greasy there.
Kingen is just so strong right now, even though, honestly, Yukal makes an incredible play with the turnaround. It's still not enough to pull KRX ahead. Too much of a goal disadvantage right now. And that major threat that's ahead into the short-range composition, trying to shred through him, you just don't have the time. And when you eventually do kill him, he just comes back a few seconds later. It's really difficult right now for KRX being behind in this position. They don't have pen on their Cassiopeia. They don't have...
What is this brightness?
Yes, that ult is sick from Yukal.
Oh.
And honestly, that is a game-winning play in most situations, and yet it just wasn't enough here. Because Kingen, despite being so low, gets a huge ult, tons of healing, kills the Cassiopeia, gets the passive up, and KRX had to bin everything just to finish him off, only for him to come back to life and continue the fight there. Dragon up in 30 seconds. Diablo, your fantasy is almost a reality.
I wonder what he's going to go next. He still has to swap for the Swifties. There's going to be a double stun.
And IE doesn't give that much movement speed. As in, it gives none.
That's true.
Oh no, Yukal.
This keeps happening where they're not really covering their flanks. They're just going to try to send it all in onto the Leona. The big kick on a 2. And Lahen's is tanking everything, but Willer able to get the Jin down, and then it's absolute chaos. Big stun on a 4 is going to lock them down, but do they have the damage to 2 through Willer this time? I think with Kingen they should. Although, with the Cassiopeia still alive, that's the pullback from Kingen and the knock-up. And Yukal, oh, he's just not able to get away from the raid boss that Kingen is.
Fight starts off a little messy, but ultimately well for KRX, able to take down the bot lane of NongShim, but they just don't have the follow-through to deal with Kingen. He is so strong right now. And the end result is a big fight win for NongShim. This stun from Scout, by the way, was insane. 5-man, I believe, to set up the Zahen to give him target access. All 5 men were stunned with that Scat of the Week. And that means Kingen just slide in. All the CC's been used already. He stacked up his passive. He still actually had the ult available. So more than enough gas in the tank to keep that fight going. And there just isn't the tools to deal with him. He's building towards either a Death Stance or a GA. Either would just be so problematic to deal with. GA feels goofy because you can only die once.
Yeah.
Not goofy like bad, just goofy like that's so annoying.
Yeah.
But Death Stance also phenomenal.
Does he really need another res? Not sure if that's really necessary. Although for tilt factor, it's huge.
Get any more immortal?
All right, they're going to try to press their buttons in the general direction of NongShim with that on the hunt. They almost get lands. Really nice ult, actually, on the flank there. They take out Kingen this time around.
He's still alive!
He's alive! And the passive comes up at the last moment. Not able to deal with Kingen. World champion, by the way.
What is this champion?
This time it's the Zahen we're talking about.
Oh god, it was luck last game for this game. He was like the tiniest amount of HP. They were so sure they killed him. And then he just survives long enough to get the passive off. Suddenly, he's full health again. I don't know what to make of it, but the answer is going to be a 2-0 for NongShim. I think KRX, I think champions they must ban. I think there's a list right now, and I think there's a Hen and Luck. A little bit problematic. Don't want to deal with those again.
Just, you know, the start of the list, I think there's other things that they'll have to deal with as well if they want to have a chance here in the Rise group. But for now, it's all NongShim, as this time Kingen gets the focus for that dirty Zahen game.
And a good start for them, considering the rough time they've had earlier in the season.
First scout. At least we balance each other out.
Yeah. And this is the play. They get the ult on Diablo. Lahen's buys time. And then just the help, the stun from Yukar was great. And look how low he is. I was like, he had no health. How is he alive? And then look when he reses. He's just full HP again.
Yeah.
That moment.
And he did not have Death Stance.
You can imagine someone in KRX was like, I got him. We got him.
I really thought they got him.
They did not get him.
Scout with 43k.
He did not get got.
DPS.
Okay,
damage.
so I'm interested to see who it ends up being. I'm torn personally, even though I did put my vote in. I think both of them just so good. So were they game two? What's the term for it? No,
Gonna go to Scout.
They were game one Andes.
Maybe they just voted for the new champ. No, I do think
Scout was
that
phenomenal.
Scout was the
I think as well, it's player of the match. I think if it was player of the
okay.
if it was player of the game, it'd be Scout then Kingen. But player of the match, I think that we saw Scout have a phenomenal series. I think that Kingen was fine in the Varus game, but he really shone in game two. And I guess it like averaged, you know, they were both like a 10 in their respective games.
Yeah.
And then maybe Kingen was like a 6 or 7, and then Scout was like like a
6 or 7-ish.
like an 8 or 9, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I do think that his Syndra game was really kind of the difference maker on that.
And there's no way I'm going to be the only top lane vote.
No, I think he might be joined by TTT or like Right Media.
Here's we got to work out who's going to be the random vote that is for neither of those players. Who's going to be the guilty culprit? Who will they vote for?
It depends on who's on the Korean cast. It could be Cloud Templar, who's like trying to be big brain or something. It's like, it was definitely Lahen's this time. You know, think about his Shen was crazy.
Yeah.
Or maybe like VNCast, but VNCast sometimes does like the weird ADC vote. So like that, I don't think you can vote for Diablo here. Like not even VNCast.
Yeah.
So, or like Jonas Strong does it sometimes. Vote reveal, it was left media.
What?
And VNCast went for jungle.
I mean, we... okay.
Lunge?
Okay, well, you know what? I don't even know what to add to that. I'm so surprised. I was convinced that it would be very unlikely. I mean, Lahen's, I did praise. I think Lahen's had a great game. I feel like Sponge was more active in game 2 and had some sick kicks. But to me, I was just like, it's a no-brainer between Scout and Kingen.
Sponge, his Jarvan was good in terms of presence in bot lane.
Yeah.
But so was Scout's presence in bot lane good. And then his Lee Sin like had some flashy moments, but like we had Scout and his Syndra and his flashy moments.
Valdez, we can kind of really attribute it to what Dan just said. He said, I thought it was a no-brainer. But I think that was just a no-brain pick here. As the interview is ready, let's send it on over to the deer for the interview translation.